Hey guys, so this is an update video on my dog potty area.
Keep it simple and just mow.
Just over 2 years ago in March of 2021, I created a dog potty area using just landscape fabric and pea gravel laid on top. So we're going to take a look and see how it looks right now, 2 years later. When I created this project, I had no idea how good it would be. And I wanted to kind of share with you on what you can expect moving forward as time passes. And you can see the spot is looking still pretty good. Every now and then I have to come out and rinse it down with a hose, usually once a month if I'm in a drought situation. But if it's raining, I really don't do anything to it. The most important thing is to clean up any poop in a timely manner. You don't want to let it just sit there, because then it's going to pile up and then there'll be other poop spots and then it's just going to be a total mess. So you want to clean it up the best you can. Now, a few minor issues I'm noticing, you may notice it right here, is that some of the landscape fabric is actually coming up through the pea gravel. This is kind of expected, but I wasn't expecting it to be that much. And looking back now, I probably could have just skipped putting down the landscape fabric, mainly because if the grass here was not growing and it's in shade, I could have just managed it using just a blowtorch just to burn whatever weeds or grass may have come up through this pea gravel. Now, the other thing I'm noticing is because this spot is in a partly shaded area, I'm noticing green algae growing in the sides, but that's easy to solve. You just get algae remover that you can get at a big box store and just spray it and get rid of that. But it's going to be an ongoing thing, I'm noticing, mainly because it's in a shady area. I got trees all around, you can see. And this is actually a good thing when you're creating a spot like this, mainly because you're worried about the pea gravel retaining too much heat and hurting the paws of the dog. So putting it in a partly shaded spot is definitely a good thing. So looking back now, the only thing I would have changed is probably not put down the landscape fabric. But if you put it down, not a big deal, but just expect it to slowly come up over time. You may have also noticed that when I created this spot, I created a border along this edge right here. That border had to be removed, unfortunately. I would have still stick with it. I'm not going to change the border, but I had to remove it mainly because I had the pool installed and that was in the way of traffic. So that had to be removed. That's going to be replaced over time. But other than that, the potty area, the potty spot is still looking good. I do have to still come out and rinse it down every now and then, but that's expected. So one thing to keep in mind, just because you created this doggy potty area, it doesn't mean it's a one time and be done with it. You still have to follow through with training. Fortunately for me, my dog is pretty smart and she was able to pick up on it very quickly. But you gotta be consistent with the training, don't let up. So you gotta keep going out every day, encourage him or her to use that spot, and over time it's just gonna work like magic. The other thing I wanted to mention, because every time she goes and do number 2, I'm going out every day, maybe twice a day, and picking it up. And every once in a while I'm picking up some of the pea gravel. And I'm not going to go and filter the pea gravel, I'm just going to toss it out in the garbage. So over time I have to replenish it and add a little bit more pea gravel. I haven't added any since for 2 years, but I think I'm coming up on a time when I have to add a little bit. It's probably going to be like 2, 3, maybe 4 bags at most, and the bags right now cost roughly about $5 each. So there is a little bit of a maintenance aspect to it. So clean up after the dog, rinse it down every now and then if you're in a drought period, and replenish the gravel as needed. If you got a dog, I highly encourage you to create this spot in your yard. You also got to have the room for it. But if you have the room for it, go ahead and do it. And 50% of the work is creating the spot, and the other 50% of the work is training your dog to use that spot.